This is a very special edition of the longest running Let's Play series on this YouTube channel. This is episode 20 of Let's Play TNA 2016. That's right, we have made it to episode 20, and unfortunately, I kind of was under the impression that episode 20 would be the pay-per-view. But of course, if I pull this up right here, the pay-per-view is actually next episode. So the pay-per-view will be episode 21. So, with that being the case, we got one more show. One more show until the pay-per-view. And tonight, you will find out every match. Well, actually, you'll find out just these matches right here, because any other match is likely not going to happen. I also just want to make one quick change. And damn it. Will you stop it? Jesus. Okay, paper appearance. Why is he on paper appearance? I don't know. I don't know why he's on paper appearance. Whatever. Okay, so here we go. It's time for the last episode of Impact before TNA Lockdown, or TNA One Night Only Lockdown, that comes this weekend. And this is also the last pay-per-view before we make it to Slammiversary. I was going to say Bound for Glory, but Slammiversary this coming June. Another anniversary is coming for TNA. And also, if you can't tell, as the matches get smaller, I guess you could say, as the matches get smaller, the further we go along, the more present, I guess, it is that, or the clearer it is when this Let's Play may end. So now, without further ado, let's jump right into the go-home show of Impact Wrestling. And the go-home show kicks off with Micah and Mark Andrews on the pre-show up against the Von Erich boys. And the reason why Mark Andrews and Micah are in a tag team match is because I wanted to try them as a tag team. And surprisingly, they did good. They did good. The other pre-show match had El Ligero against Brandon Watts, and surprisingly, like almost downright shockingly, I had to do a double take that El Ligero actually beat Brandon Watts. Like, how? Well, let me just say this. As far as the pre-show matches, when I usually book them, I usually book it in the way that I don't care who wins, so I don't pick the winner. And I honestly thought, because Brandon Watts' status is that of a mid-carder, and El Ligero's is that of an opener, that there was no way El Ligero was going to win. But I guess I was wrong. So now let's get to the opening segment on the show, and that is with, well, I'll say this, and that is with Kurt Angle, TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Rey Mysterio, Ethan Carter III, The Wolves, and Bram are in this picture But if this was real life, James Storm and Bobby Roode would be out there too. Unfortunately, and Rob Echoes too. But unfortunately, in game, you could only have 8 people in one segment at a time. So I chose to have those 8 people in the segment because Mick Foley would come down and officially announce the teams for Lethal Lockdown, as it is Team Rey Mysterio versus Team Bram in Lethal Lockdown this Sunday, with Ethan Carter, Beer Money, and Kurt Angle making up Rey Mysterio's team, the Wolves and Rob Echoes making up Bram's team, and Mick Foley also announces that, considering there are only 4 people involved on Bram's side, Bram has for the rest of the night to decide who his tag team partner will be. His 5th tag team partner will be this Sunday, because if he doesn't, then Mick Foley will pick one for him. And what I was going to say before I started talking about the segment was, what's just out of the picture is the announcing job done by Josh Matthews was pretty weak. This segment deserved better announcing. Really? I mean, oh my god. I mean, it's like maybe I should get an announcer. Who? I don't know. But who knows? Maybe I should get an announcer. I mean, Kevin Kelly's available. Why don't I pick up him? I mean, I honestly don't think Josh is terrible. I don't think he's that good, but I don't think he's terrible. But apparently he ain't that good. So yeah. Let's just get to the first match. So, as you can tell, Bobby Lashley defeated the new upper mid-carder in DJZ. And I just wanted to say this. The reason why the payoff for Lashley will be coming very soon. Because I'm not just going to keep him getting wins and wins and wins and wins and wins and never lose. He will be losing very soon. I'm just going to throw that out there. Just not tonight. As I mentioned last week, this week, as I mentioned that last week, that in the next couple of weeks we would be having Jeremy Borash interview Steve Corino, and that happened tonight. But it happened like this. JB went up to Steve to try and get ask Steve some questions, and Steve answered him. JB said, Corino, why have you been showing up on Impact the last couple of weeks? And all Steve says is with a grin, JB, I'm not ready to tell you. But when I am, you and everybody else will know exactly why I'm here. Now we move forward as another match, much like Lashley. It happens as Eli Drake, who's been on a 2-week winning streak, or a 2-match winning streak rather, faces Jody Christopherson, and Mr. Christopherson gets the victory over Eli Drake. Surprisingly, I honestly didn't expect that. I thought Eli Drake would win. And now we move forward again. It's the Prodigy. And the Prodigy is here, and he says, "Do you believe me yet? For the last 4 months, I've been telling each and every one of you that I'm born to be in this ring, that I am wrestling royalty, that I am only 30 years old, and I've been in this ring, running around. I've been in this profession. I've been at this for 15 years. I started when I was 15, getting trained by Killer Kowalski. And you want to know something? I'm the best thing to ever come out of his training school. That's why I was blackballed out of that company in Connecticut, because some of his former trainees were jealous of me because I am the only Prodigy. And I am getting my gold. And will prove it once again that I am better than anyone back there. And that happens this Sunday when I walk out of lockdown, TNA Heritage Champion, and the start of the era of the Prodigy will begin. And the Prodigy gets his challenge down as he faces former TNA superstar and ECW great Brandon Walker, aka the Wildcat Chris Harris. And then following the match, the Prodigy's in the ring celebrating, and Eric Young darts to the ring and goes after the Prodigy. But the Prodigy escapes. But the Prodigy slides out of the ring and escapes through the crowd. And all you see is a stare down between EY and the Prodigy. And all you hear from Josh is, the Prodigy may be running this tonight, but this Sunday, Prodigy, EY, Anderson for the Heritage title. There's no running on Sunday. Speaking of moving forward, Velvet Sky against Jessie K, and Velvet Sky gets the victory as we move to a six-woman tag team match this Sunday, with Velvet Sky and Madison Rayne going up against the Dollhouse this Sunday, and Madison and Velvet both say that they will have a tag team partner come Sunday. You can guarantee it. As you saw before I started, and I say as you saw because the focus was on that match considering I changed the next segment. But either way, TJP is back, and I'm not just talking about TJP because he was manic before. I'm talking about this being the first match for TJP in TNA. And I actually do think this might be his first match in TNA. Because he's been in TNA before as Puma and Suicide/Manic, but I don't think he's ever been TJP. I'll say this, the reason why I changed his name to TJP is because in real life, before TJ Perkins left TNA, he wanted to be TJ Perkins. He did not want to be Manic anymore. He didn't want to wear the mask. But TNA didn't want him to be TJP. They wanted him to be Manic. They wanted him to wear the mask. So I took the mask off of him. I made him TJP, and I also made him the next challenger for the TNA X Division Championship. Above average. Cocky. Where's Tigre Uno? I don't know. Let's say he's competing down in Mexico. Who the hell knows? He's just not at the show tonight. And TJP calls him out, saying how he's the greatest cruiserweight in TNA, never to get an opportunity to fight for the X Division title. The jokes are over. The past is the past. TJP is ready to take his rightful spot in TNA. Wow. Chris Sabin against Randy Summers, and wow. Unfortunately, the reason is because they didn't click that this match got so bad. But wow, I did not expect that. Well, once again, as I mentioned last week, Jeff Hardy would be here. JB brings Jeff Hardy to the ring and asks, Jeff, have you seen your brother? JB? No, I haven't. You know, and Rebby knows where he is. We know where he is. But he's not Matt anymore. He's changed. He's different. I did speak to him, and he is coming back to TNA. At least that's what Rebby said. When? I don't know. But now, JB, I'm ready to put my head on straight, get my mind set, and get everything back in order so I can go back and start trying to get the TNA World Heavyweight title back around my waist. Because my brother wants to go on a vacation, he can. But I'm still here, and I still want some championship gold, because everybody's talking about how TNA needs a new legacy. Well, me and my creatures will lead the new legacy for TNA. But I need that world title. And now we head backstage after the announcers talk a little bit about what Jeff Hardy said about how he wants a shot against Rey Mysterio's TNA World title. But now we head backstage as Tyrus enters the locker room of Bram and Rob Echoes and tells him, boys, there is nobody on this roster that knows EC3 better than me. And that alone is a good enough reason for me to be your fifth man this Sunday for Lethal Lockdown. Bram extends his hand after him and Rob think about it Think about it a little. He extends his hand. They shake hands, and Bram says, "Welcome aboard, big man." Now we head to the main event. Rey Mysterio Jr. against Drew Galloway, and Drew Galloway comes up short against the world champion as Rey heads into Lethal Lockdown, riding high in his first match in the month of May. But either way, the show ends, and it goes to black. This Sunday is TNA Lockdown. TNA One Night Only Lockdown, where you will see Lethal Lockdown with Team Rey Mysterio Jr., with Kurt Angle, EC3, and Beer Money on their team, and they go up against the Wolves, Bram, Rob Echoes, and Tyrus. Also, this Sunday, a six-person tag team match as the Beautiful People, Madison Rayne and Velvet Sky, go up with a tag team partner of their choice, go up against the Dollhouse. And if that wasn't enough, you will see the Prodigy, Mr. Anderson and Eric Young collide in a triple threat match for the Heritage title, plus much, much more, including Gail Kim defending her TNA Knockouts title, also this Sunday night at Lockdown. To find out the full card, you'll have to tune in for the next episode of TNA Impact of TNA. Until then, let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the series, as we increased our popularity in 11 regions with a final rating of a 66, and unfortunately the game doesn't think we used women enough on this show. But either way, we increased our popularity as we head to the pay-per-view, so we're heading to the pay-per-view on a high note. But let me know down below what you think of the series so far. If you're still as interested in it as you've always been, or maybe you're more interested in it than you've ever been. Either way, let me know down in the comment section. But if you don't want to leave a comment, you can always leave a like, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time. Later.